good morning. Good morning, everyone. If you're just joining in, good morning. Welcome, welcome. I'm welcoming you to this live broadcast and webinar titled End Your Year Right. What better time to teach on this topic than the end of the year? And I know that some of you are wondering, end your year right? Is there a right or a wrong way to end the year? Yes, there is. And my job this morning is to help you, show you how to end your year right and make sure you don't end your year wrong. I also welcome you to the Whole Women's Network. For some of you that just joined our group and our community on Facebook just because of this program, let me quickly elucidate on what this group and network is all about. The vision is very simple: to raise visionary women, that will go ahead to unleash their greatness and create a life of impact, of influence, and of affluence. It's that simple. People who will dominate their spheres of influence, dominate their mountains of influence, and put their feet prints on the sands of time. That's the simple vision of this group. We don't want women, we want to pull women out of mediocrity into significance, basically. So I welcome you again to this live broadcast. I welcome you to this meeting. I'll say good morning again. Good morning, compliments of the season. And I thank you so much for committing to yourself, to your growth, to your evolution, and to your personal significance by joining this meeting. You have done awesomely well. So I want to ask, how are you? How are you doing? How have you been since our last meeting? For those of you who were in our last meeting, what have you done with the knowledge that you gained from that last meeting? Because the goal really for what I do is not just to teach, because knowledge, properly known, okay, people usually say, or there was a school of thought that said that knowledge is power. But at some point, I had to counteract that for my personal self and say, good morning, and say knowledge is not power anymore, but the application of knowledge is power. So that's what I'm asking you. How have you been since our last meeting? What have you done with the knowledge you gained? And how have you been able to apply that knowledge to your unique circumstance? So how are you doing? Good morning, good morning. I see you, everybody. Good morning, and I love you so much. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So how are you? I want feedback. How are you? Tell me where you're dialing in from, or you're listening to this broadcast from. I would like to know you, what state, what country, where you're dialing in from. I would like to know. You're welcome. You're welcome. Because the vision is not a local vision, it's to reach all the parts of the world. Yes. So what state are you dialing in from? What country? Where are you dialing in from? I want to know. I want to know. Yes. Well, I'm dialing in from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. From Port Harcourt, Nigeria, yes. Lagos, Nigeria, great. Welcome, Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for joining in. I know there's somebody, I'm doing fine, great. I saw that. I know there's also somebody from my able team lead, as far as I'm concerned, working behind the scene from the United Kingdom. Thank you so much, Amara. Thank you so much for your sacrifice and all that you do to help me propel my vision. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. While others join in, I would like to ask you, how do you feel? How are you feeling right now? Okay, before I ask you how are you feeling, I want to know, good. Oh, welcome. Thank you so much, United Kingdom. I want to know, good morning, Port Harcourt. Great, you're welcome. You're welcome. So what are your expectations for this meeting? Can you quickly type that in the chat? Abakaliki, Nigeria, great, you're welcome. What are your Lokoja City? Wow, you're welcome. You're welcome. Abuja, wow. All the senatorial, all the zones ably represented. Owerri, beautiful, Owerri. North, south, west, and east. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so can you quickly type what your expectations are for this meeting? Because I find that when you don't have expectations for any event in your life, you would never really gain from that meeting or that experience because you never expected anything. The good book says that your expectations will not be cut short. In other words, if you don't have expectations, then there is nothing to aspire to. After the meeting, you can't say, this is what I gained, this is what I learned, because you didn't have any expectations. Please, can you quickly type out, what are your expectations for this meeting? What are your expectations? What did you expect? I'll just ask all these questions in like 10 minutes, and then we'll dive right into the matter of the day. Yeah. What are your expectations? What are your expectations? What are your expectations? I can tell you my expectation. My expectation is that after this meeting, me that is teaching will have a radical mind shift into my preferred future, and the people listening to me will have their limiting paradigms broken, and they'll be able to have timely tools that they'll be able to use in 2022 to propel their life forward. That's my expectation. So what is your expectation? Please excuse me, the weather is quite dry, so I'll be taking a lot of water. A transformative vision for 2022. Awesome, Amara. Awesome. Awesome. That's a visionary woman right there. And your expectation will not be cut off. A visionary, transformational vision for 2022. Great. We have about 3 minutes, for you to answer these questions, and we'll dive right in. Okay, let me just say it. One of the attributes of a whole woman is to show up powerfully, to be present, and to be purposeful. That's one of the 3 attributes of a whole woman. You show up powerfully, you are present, and you are purposeful. And one of the ways to show up powerfully is that when you join a meeting like this, you are not a silent observer. No, you are an active interactor. You are interacting with the program, because the more you interact with the program, the more you put yourself in that context of transformation. So when I ask a question, I would appreciate it that you write it out. Don't be shy. Don't just be observing from the sidelines. No, be present and show up powerfully. And writing out, appending what your expectations are for this meeting is a sure way to show up powerfully. I would like 2022 to be a different year for me by being transformed by what I'll learn today. I like that. He said, I would like 2022 to be a different year. My expectations are tools to take 2022 and put in my pocket. Please, you won't put it in your pocket. You will take those tools and put it to work. Yeah. And then somebody said, the other person that said, I have expectations. I expect to gain clarity for 2022. Great. I would like 2022, yeah, that will help me achieve my purpose in 2022. That's great. That's a good one. I would like 2022 to be a different year for me by being transformed by what I'll learn today. Whoever made that comment, I'll also on your own, well, maybe the time was short, but when you say you want 2022 to be a different year, it's very ambiguous and vague. You would have to say exactly, because it can be different for the negative, it can be different for the positive. So you have to actually say, what difference do I want to see in my life in 2022? Yes, but well done, well done. We have 1 minute to go, and then we'll dive right in. Okay, so my last question, how do you feel as the year is winding up? How do you feel? What emotions are you feeling? Let me give you a clue. Okay, let me not give you a clue. Let me hear you. How are you feeling? Are you feeling energized? Are you feeling laid back? Are you feeling disappointed? Are you feeling fearful? Are you feeling powerful? My expectation for 2022 will be growth, career especially. I love that. You streamlined it to exactly what you want. Perfect, perfect. So how are you feeling? Are you feeling powerful? Are you feeling fearful? Are you feeling courageous? Are you feeling excited? How are you feeling at this time of the year? To gain knowledge for vision setting and strategy. Great. Awesome. So how are you feeling at this time of the year? I would like 2022 to be a year that I don't just pen down goals, but actually carry them. I hear you. I even hear what you're not saying, in that you would like 2022 to be a year of radical execution for you. I got you. Yes, I got you. Okay, somebody's saying, I feel grateful to God. Gratitude, powerful. Powerful. A timeless tool. Powerful. I feel grateful to God. Okay, so how do you feel? A little disappointed. That's how I feel, and that's fine. That's fine. That's okay. We'll address that. That's fine. A little disappointed. I feel hopeful. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let me just give one more minute, one more minute, one more minute, and then we'll take this bird flying. Yeah. How do you feel? How do you feel? I'm feeling energetic and positive. Wow. The outlook for next year is beautiful. So the person who wrote this, I sense very strongly that you are a visionary person and you have peeked into the new year and seen a preview of what it will look like. And that's what's giving you the energy and the positive vibe. Well done. Well done. Well done. I feel not fulfilled. You're not fulfilled. And there's a reason why you're not fulfilled. And we'll address that today. It's fine. The fact that you can even identify with how you're feeling, it's a plus. It's a plus. So let's just, if you're on this live broadcast and you can't even put to writing how you feel, or you don't even know how you feel, it's a pointer to a lack of self-awareness. We've started. It's a pointer to lack that you can't put into words. You don't even know how you feel. You can't express how you're feeling at this point in the year. It's a pointer to a lack of self-awareness. And a lack of self-awareness is the primary factor, primary component for inauthentic living. And then the primary component for dissatisfaction, unfulfillment, and a general sense of anxiety and depression, let's put it that way, is living an inauthentic life. If you cannot put how you feel right now to words, you can't even understand how you feel, it means that you are not self-aware. And that's a dangerous place to be. And this is why it's becoming increasingly difficult to find people who are real, who are not two-sided, who are not two-faced, who have the attribute of what you see is what you get. Because a lot of people in this generation are living inauthentic life. And it's stemming from a place of lack of self-awareness, low self-awareness, or no self-awareness at all. And that is why in this broadcast, I want to start from a topic I'll call self-awareness. Self-awareness. There are things that you cannot do, places that you cannot travel until you are aware of self. Because people in this generation are trying so desperately to live every other person's life except their own. And whenever you find yourself living a life that is not authentically yours, borrowing a paradigm that is not yours, borrowing a stereotype that is not yours, borrowing a belief system that is not yours because it looks fancy and it is not original to you, you would be unhappy, you will be sad, you'll be unfulfilled because you are living a lie. And my job this morning is to bring you out of that box, that stereotype of living another life that is not yours. I want you to start in this year, as we enter the new year, I want you to make a commitment to genuinely live your authentic life, to be so aware of yourself that you begin to operate from your place of personal power. Because the first step to living a life of significance and living a life of fulfillment is being aware of yourself. You must travel inwards. Once you begin that journey, that intentional, deliberate journey of traveling inwards to discover yourself, along that journey, you will meet a place I call the place of personal power. You're going to hit a place called the place of personal power. And this is where you are supposed to be operating from. This is where you're supposed to be unleashing your greatness from. This is where you're supposed to be relating with the world from. But there is a problem. People are doing the opposite. So you find that a lot of women want to do without. They want to travel externally before traveling internally. And when you do that, there's a dichotomy. Why? Because if you must, yes, be aware of yourself and travel inwards. But what I find that the reverse is prevalent. People want to travel outward first before they travel inwards. And that's a wrong way to believe. That's a wrong way to live, sorry. Because the depth to which you travel within The journey to which you take within will determine how far you will go without. If you don't travel deep, you can't travel far. Your journey, what you're producing, what your different expressions, whether they be in your career, whether they be in your vision, your purposeful work, your family, all the different aspects of your life must come from a place of personal power, must come from a place of deep journey, a deep journey inside you to understand who you are. You must begin to ask questions like, who am I? What am I sent to do? Who am I sent for? What are my strengths and my weaknesses? That's what you should begin to ask. You must operate from a place of self-awareness, because what you are not aware of, you cannot deploy. What you are not aware of, you cannot deploy. You must look at your life in an aerial view and begin to look and say, how am I? How do I relate with people? What are my internal monologues? What are my external monologues? What are the things that give me joy? What are the things that give me sadness? When I talk to women a lot, there's a disconnect between what they do and who they are. And that's because they are not operating from their place of personal power. They have very low self-awareness. If you want to go far, and if you will go far in 2022, you must go deep inside of you. Because everything that you're seeking without you is not even found in what I'm telling you today. It's not even found necessarily in books. It's not even found in meetings. The raw material for how far you will go in the year 2022 and the years coming ahead is not without, it's within. So instead of pursuing and going outside of you to pursue a career, to pursue a good family, to pursue financial prosperity, to pursue your vision, why not take the first step and travel inwards? Take a journey within. Because the Bible said something. It says, out of the abundance of the heart, if you want to go far in 2022, you must go deep. And that deep is talking about inside. You must understand who you are. You must also, instead of asking, what must I do? Instead of asking, what must I do? You should begin to ask, what must I know? Yes, because a lot of us women, we want to have the best marriage. I want to be a good wife. I want to do this. I want to start this business. I want to go ahead with this vision. You have lofty goals, but that's not the first point of call. Why not take a pause in doing and travel inwards and say, what must I know? Stop asking what you can do. There is a time to ask what you can do, but don't ask what you can do until you have asked what can I know? Because what you know is what will help you do. The Bible says something very interesting. It says that they that know their God, underline know, shall be strong and do exploits. What does it mean? It means that knowledge, it means that wisdom, what you know, hands you the propelling force, hands you the inner resilience, hands you the inner drive, hands you the emotional fortitude and strength to do what you have been called to do. How many of you got that? He says, they that know their God shall be strong and do, because there is a strength to do. And that strength is gotten from a place of knowing. But why we are frustrated most often than not is because we don't know and then we go ahead to do. That's why we are frustrated. Because do you know that it is very, very possible to do without knowing? But the Bible was very clear. He says, they that know their God shall be strong and do, not just do. There's a kind of doing that we want to do as a whole woman. We don't want to deliver shabby results. We don't want to deliver results that are below par. We want to do exploits. We want to do exceptional things. That brings me to an important point, and I will say this. If you would do epic, if you would do extraordinary, if you would do exceptional things, produce exceptional results in 2022, it must come from a place of knowing. The strength required for you to do exploits must come from a place of knowing. Every time you do without knowing, you yield abysmal results. Whenever you see somebody who is hitting the glass ceiling, who is bringing out tangible results, who is bringing out results that can stand anywhere, that can stand the test of time, results that are excellent, you have found somebody who is operating from a place of insight, revelation, epiphany, and knowing. And that is why we don't want to pay that price, because to know requires a price. It's easier to go out and do. But instead of reduplicating your life over and over again, why not pay the price and say, no, I will pause to know. I will pause to know. Why not just hold on and say, let me pause and know. Pay the price to know. I don't want to raise a generation of women, or I don't want to be around a generation of women who are bringing out poor results or no result at all. If it's not excellent, if it's not above par, I don't want to be part of it. And that decision comes from a place of knowing. It comes from a place of knowing. I want you to begin to date yourself. I want you to begin to understand yourself, because a lot of women have a problem with knowing everything about everybody else except themselves. So you know everything about every other person's life. You know everybody's life from social media. You know what they are going through. You know how they are moving. But if I ask you, what about you? You have no clue as to what your life entails. And that's such a poor place to operate from. That's such a disempowering place to operate from. Because the highest form of knowledge is not empirical knowledge, is not analytical knowledge, is not academic knowledge, is not any. The highest form of knowledge is self-knowledge. Because when you know you, you can deploy you. I'll say that again. When you know you, you can deploy you. You cannot deploy what you don't know. So I want to encourage you as we enter the new year, take out time for deep introspection. Take out time to understand, who am I? What kind of person am I? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What do I like? What have I been called to do? A lot of us are too busy with other people's lives that we have no time for our own lives. Come out from the crowd. Come out from the noise and travel inwards. Travel inwards. Engage in what I call deep introspection. And the reason why a lot of people don't do that is because it requires deep work. It requires hard work. It requires discipline to travel inwards and say, who am I? But why not pay that price? It requires courage, because when you travel inwards, you're going to see things you don't like. You're going to see things you like. But a courageous woman will say, I'd rather travel inwards. I know what it is, rather than live a life numb to who I am. Travel inwards. And that will make me, let me read out a quote I wrote down, and it's so powerful. It says, it takes courage to endure the sharp pains of self-discovery. When you go on a journey of self-discovery, let me put it to you that it's not always sweet. You are going to meet aspects of yourself that you never thought existed, that you'll be ashamed of, but which is also your empowering factor, which is also your place of personal power. I'll come to that. It says it takes courage to endure the sharp pains. You can write it down. To endure the sharp pains of self-discovery than choose to take the dull pain of unconsciousness that will last the rest of our life. Either way, you experience pain. It's just that when you don't travel inwards, the pain is dull. You are numb. The pain is dull. You are like, you're just living your life, but there's this sense of dissatisfaction. There's this sense of unfulfillment. Why not renegade on that and choose the painful path of traveling inwards, of taking up courage and say, no, I will discover myself for who I am. Because self-awareness is the first pathway in a framework I designed called the self-actualization pathway. Because the truth is, every one of us has a deep-seated need to give something to the world. And that's where we draw self-actualization from. That's why we are all in this journey. We all want to self-actualize. We want to live a life that is meaningful. We want to live a life that somebody will say, oh, because of you, I can do this. Because of you, I have found new meaning in my life. It gives a sense of joy. It gives a sense of fulfillment. It gives a sense of meaning to you. So this is where we are all headed. But before you get to this, there's a framework I have, which is like a 4-step, and on the first in that ladder is self-awareness. There are 4. Let me just list them up for you, but the detailing in that is what I discuss in my mastermind with my people I coach. But number 1 is self-awareness. You can write it down. Self-awareness. That's the first point of call. Number 2 is self-mastery. Number 3 is self-deployment. And number 4, the final one, is self-actualization. You cannot actualize what you are not aware of. So that's why you have self-awareness, not number one. You cannot also deploy what you are not aware of. And that's why you have self-deployment and self-mastery and all that as a step. So I'll state that again. Number one, self-awareness. Number two, self-mastery. Number three, self-deployment. Number four, self-actualization. In self-awareness, at this point, you begin to ask yourself, who am I? When you go down the ladder and you get to self-mastery, you start asking, what works for me? Because what works for person A is not works for me. I'll give you a typical example. Over the week, we had a midweek service and our pastor was teaching and he was saying that you should not borrow another person's Christian race, right? The way you pray is not the way I pray. And then he gave an example. He said he doesn't know how I do it. That was my husband talking. But that I can lie down and I can pray for 2-3 hours lying down on the bed, but he cannot try it. Because if he lies down, he will find himself in dreamland. So he always has to stand, to pray. It comes from a place of self-awareness and self-mastery. You know what works for you. You don't borrow a paradigm because it looks good. No, you create your own work system that works for you. Exactly. The first point of call to fulfillment, to living a life of meaning, is self-awareness. In fact, there has been a research that shows that self-awareness, internal self-awareness, is associated with a higher sense of fulfillment in relationships, in career, in business, and it is negatively attributed to things like anxiety, depression, anxiousness. So when you are self-aware, you are more at peace with yourself. Your life has more meaning. You can relate with people from a place of personal power. You are not perturbed by what is going on social media, because a lot of us are comparing our lives to controlled content on somebody else's social media page. If you find yourself doing that, it's an indicator of a low self-awareness. Because if you know where you have been called to, where another person is called to will not bother you as much. Yes, it will not bother you as much. It won't. It won't, because if you use someone else's, okay, let me give you an example. Let me just say this. Please, you can write it down and underline it. Never use someone else's blueprints. Never use someone else's roadmap for your own journey, because you will land at an unknown destination. I will say that again. Never use someone else's blueprints. Never use someone else's roadmap for your own journey, because it will land you in a destination that is unknown. You must choose you. Your instructions are unique to you. Your wiring, your unique wiring is unique to you. Some other person may be productive, very productive at 8 a.m. But your productivity may be at 7 p.m. Own it. It's you. It's your place of personal power. Stop trying to be like every other one else. You are unique and you are enough. Own it. Own it. Don't use somebody else's. Yes. Don't use someone else's blueprints. Be self-aware. Do you know that even instructions are given differently in the same context? You may even have the same context. Your life may even look like somebody else's person's life, but you are going to be handed different instructions. Those unique instructions, those unique memoirs that are handed to you in the place of deep introspection cannot be given to another person. It is unique to you. It is unique to you. And that is why Jesus met a blind man and told him, "Thou will be made whole." See, he told him that we made whole. Another one, he told him, "Go and wash go and wash yourself in the river." They had the same problem, but they were giving different instructions. Stop using someone else's instructions for your unique problem, unique context, unique situation. It's a recipe for frustration. It's a recipe for frustration. What is your own instruction? That is the point of self-awareness. You have to become self-aware of the different aspects of your life. Talking about your traits, your behavior, your emotions. You need to be aware. Some of you, I don't know if you've ever experienced it. Sometimes maybe in the day, you just start feeling sad. There's this cloak of sadness. You can't explain it and you'll be like, you just be feeling somehow. And for some of you, you allow yourself just say it will pass. No, it will not pass. Start to ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? At what point did I start feeling this negative energy? Who elicited this negative energy? What environment? What did I hear that elicited this negative energy? That's how to grow self-awareness. Don't just say it will pass. How will it pass? A lot of women have become numb to pain. So you are pain, things are hurting you, but you be like, it will pass. It will not pass anywhere. It won't pass. You must know what hurts you, and you must identify it and deal with it. You must also know what propels you, and you must identify it and take advantage of it. Don't live your life by happenstance. Be deliberate, intentional about your life, and it starts from a place of self-awareness. How aware you are with yourself. There are a lot of definitions about self-awareness, you know, and all that. But there is one that really stuck to me by Debbie Ford, and I will read it out to you. It says, it is the ability to take an honest look at your life without attachment to it being right or wrong. I'll say that again, by Debbie Ford. The self-awareness is the ability to take an honest look at your life without attachment to it being right or wrong. Because like I told you earlier, when you start this journey of self-awareness, you are going to meet things that you don't like. The aim is not to know if I'm right or wrong. The aim is to know me, to know what works for me. The aim is not to judge yourself or to be hard on yourself. The aim is to know who am I and what works for me. That's the aim. Some of you are not too happy about the lives you're living now or the lives you've lived before, but that's not the aim of traveling inwards. Yes, that's not the aim of traveling inwards. You're traveling inwards just to know you, so that you can leverage yourself effectively. I will say this, a life that is not assessed is a life that is not yet lived. A life that is not assessed is a life that is not yet lived. If you don't assess your life periodically, I'm sorry to bring this news to you. You are not living, you are existing. A life that is not assessed is a life that is not well lived. Once you begin to assess your life, you have started living. I do that periodically, sometimes 4 times a year. I bring my life, I say, what is working in my life and what is not working? I assess my life. Because if you don't assess your life, you will not live authentically. And you will keep complaining, oh, I feel disappointed. I am not fulfilled. I am not this. No, it is your job to assess your life. It is your job. And there are ways to develop self-awareness, and I will just say that out to you this morning. I would put them out in steps for you. Number one way to start a journey to self-awareness is, number one, practice deep introspection, or what I call mindfulness. Practice deep introspection or mindfulness. Excuse me, please. I'm talking about the ways to develop self-awareness. Number one, practice deep introspection or mindfulness. What do I mean by this? You're going to have to find some time in your life where you can be quiet, where you can be in solitude, where you can drive yourself inwards, where you can travel inwards and begin to ask yourself hard questions like, where am I from? Where did I grow up? What was handed to me as a belief system while I was growing up? Is this belief system, paradigm, or stereotype beneficial to me, or is it limiting me? What are my strengths? Deep introspection, looking at your life. It's like coming out of your life. So I don't know if you've watched these movies. I think they are Nigerian movies. You know, when Nigerian movies are acting a death scene on a hospital bed, and they show you where the spirit of the person leaves the person, and the person is standing by the side and looking at his body, you know, lying on the bed. So I'm not saying you should die, no. I'm just saying, step out of yourself, as it were, and take a look at your life. Ask yourself, am I happy with what I see? That's deep introspection. Travel inwards, find out, write down, in the past, what is known to hurt me? What hurts me? What fuels me? Who are my gaslighters and who are my gas quenchers? and my firefighters, sorry. Who are my gaslighters and my firefighters? You know, what are my gaslighters and firefighters? I learned that phrase from one of my coaches, DDK. What are your gaslighters and what are your firefighters? What do I mean? What gaslights you? What takes you off the board? What makes you go, crazy in quotes? And what are the things that calms you? Where do you find peace? This is what is called deep introspection. A lot of us don't know, a lot of women don't know this, they don't know themselves. They don't know themselves. A lot of women don't know that they are peaceful between a particular some hours of the day or between a time of the month. You just everywhere. You don't know why you're feeling this way. Study your life as it were. Take a course on your life. Number 2, know your strengths and weaknesses. Very important. Tabulate them. How many of you have ever taken a personality test before or a strength test before? Can you indicate that in the comment section? If you've ever taken the personality test or a strength finder test, can you please indicate that in the comment section? And if you haven't, I would like to know, I would like to know if you haven't also. Just say I haven't. Have you ever taken a personality test or a strength finder test? Yes or no? But that's a good point of call. What are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? Go online, just Google personality test. There are a plethora of tests online that can highlight your strengths and your weakness to you. Okay, you have, great. There are also, okay, good, Amara, well done. Yes, they will highlight your strength because the goal is to tone down on your weaknesses and emphasize your strengths. But the reason why some of you are unhappy with your life is because you have channeled your focus into your weaknesses instead of growing your weaknesses and amplifying and leveraging your strengths. So you have said, no, I need to make this part of my life grow. This is my weakness. I must deal with it. But what you focus on gives you direction. So when you focus on your weaknesses, it will direct the way your life goes. I'm not saying that you should leave your weaknesses and live with them and do nothing about them. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that as you grow your weakness, you need to leverage your strengths. You need to emphasize your strengths. That's coming from a place of self-awareness. So don't, how do I put this now? How do I put this? Don't, as it were, crush your strengths or don't announce, like you're not announcing your strengths because you're working on your weaknesses. What you would see is that those weaknesses will continue to manifest in your life because that's your focus. So know your strengths and weaknesses. If you haven't taken a personality test, please, after this meeting, immediately after this meeting, don't postpone it. Go online. There are several. Take a personality test. Take a strength finder test. Know your strengths and weakness. And when you are done, choose to grow your weakness and choose to emphasize your strengths. Can somebody put that down? Grow your weakness, but emphasize your strengths. Yeah. Number 3, ask for feedback from people who know you. Honest feedback from people who know you and from people who love you. Ask for honest feedback from people who know you and from people who love you. Sometimes people who love us see us better than we see ourselves. You can ask them, how do I behave when I'm confronted with this kind of situation? How do you see me behave? What emotions do you see me vibe out when I'm faced with such a situation? How do I behave under pressure? How do I behave when I'm low on my finances? What are the things when you look at me, where do you find me happiest? When am I happiest? You can ask from your spouse, from your siblings, somebody who will tell you the truth, not somebody who will sugarcoat it for you. From a mentor, from a coach, from a best friend. Ask for feedback from people who know you and love you. Number 4, be observant of what is going on within you and what is going on around you. Be observant of what is going on within you and what is going on around you. And for this, I'll give you an example. One day I was in my office and a young man who used to supply us medications walked into my office. And then when he walked in, when he handed over the products I needed to me, just before he left, he turned back and said, he made a statement. He was like, Doc, don't you think you should ask this facility to give you a room to put up your signage where a lot of people can see it, so that you can do better? Then he now referenced another colleague of mine and said, because look at so person, see, she's doing so well. She's doing this and she's doing that. I think you should allow them, be more liberal with advertising what you do. And I know that maybe or maybe not, he said that from a good place. That was fine. And then he left. So I continued. I said, oh, thank you so much for that feedback. So when he left, I went back to what I was doing. But 30 minutes down the line, I discovered that I couldn't concentrate. I had this funny feeling, this rumbling in my tummy. You can't explain it. You're not at ease. I started feeling this dark. It was kind of a dark feeling. I wasn't happy. And meanwhile, I started that day excited, happy, hopeful, So I kept asking myself, so why am I feeling this way? So I dropped my pen and I asked myself 3 important questions I'd like to share with you. The first question I asked is, when did I start feeling this way? I put it down. Who was around me when I started feeling this way? I put it down. Why am I feeling this way? I traveled back and I was able to pinpoint it to that funny conversation I had with that supplier of mine. So by that statement, he was questioning my ability, right, to succeed in my chosen field. He was questioning my competence. He put a little dent, on my self-worth. And I identified it immediately. Immediately I knew where it came from. I opened up myself and said, no way. I would not allow this thought in here. I am a woman that is confident. I do not compare myself with anybody. I am my own competition. I am competing with the woman I was yesterday and not the woman I am seeing on social media. I trust my process. I trust my path. I trust who sent me. That was it. Immediately I said that, I got back my personal power. And it was like that cloud just vanished and I was able to do what I was supposed to do. Why did I tell you this story? I wouldn't have been able to trace it back if I was not self-aware. But a lot of you will go through this kind of thing and say, I don't know why I'm feeling bad. In fact, you may even close your work and say, I'm not working again. Let me just go home. I'm just feeling bad. No, 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 no. When you operate like that, you are not operating from a place of personal power. Take charge of your life. Be observant of what is going on inside of you. Be observant of what is going outside of you. Number 5, daily journaling. I want you to practice daily journaling. If you don't have a journal, please, I beg you, get one. I've been journaling for God knows how long. In fact, I have about 3 journals on the table where I am now. Look at one. It's full, back to back. Writing, it's full, back to back. Whatever I feel, whatever I'm learning, this was for last year, I journal them down. Because when you journal, it helps you to see your life on paper. And what you can see on paper, you can quickly implement and know where you are not doing too well, know where you are doing well. You're knowing where to put your strengths. You're knowing where to focus on at a particular season in your life. But if you're not journaling, how do you know this? So please practice daily journal. After this meeting, if you don't have a journal, the assignment for you is to go ahead and get a journal. Number 6, and the final number in this part of this meeting, is date yourself. Oh, I like that word. Date yourself. Date yourself. Get into a relationship with yourself. Be loving to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be compassionate to you. Some of us are too hard on yourself. You are comparing yourself on your life journey with somebody who started the journey like 15 years before you. No, 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 no. Date yourself. Understand who you are, basically. That's what we're saying. Date yourself. I don't know if anybody has ever heard that before, but I want you to date yourself. Know you for yourself, and you'll be happy you did. So it's at this point that I would like to ask a few questions. What have you gotten since I started talking for the past 44 minutes? We have about that same time frame before we call it a wrap. Before I go into the next big thing I have for you, and this one is loaded. Please, you don't want to go anywhere. Can you tell me what you have learned? What are your life bulb moments? What are the insights that you have drawn from this teaching so far? And what are your epiphany moments? Can I have that in the comment section, please? While I take a sip of water. Yes, yes, yes. What you know hands you the inner strength to do what you know. Wow, so good. So good. So good. That's from Amara. Thank you so much. Oh, great. Someone, a person says, grow your weakness and emphasize your strength. Awesome. So good. Go, so good. Yeah. Living deliberately, knowing my gaslighters and my firefighters. So good and so important. Well done. Well done. So good. And let me just say that when you start applying these steps on your journey to self-awareness, what it does for you is that it hands you your personal power back. You begin to talk more confidently. You begin to relate more confidently. You operate from a place of personal power. Be observant to know what is going on within and around you. So true. So true. So true. That was also a light bulb moment for me some years ago. He said, I've learned to look inwards and discover me first. Focus on my strengths. So good. While you grow your weaknesses, you focus on your strengths. So good. So good. Yes, make a practice of deep introspection or mindfulness. This will help you achieve self-awareness. Great. In fact, there's a way I usually put it. I usually say, think about what you're thinking. Think on what you're thinking. Yeah, that's how to practice mindfulness. Simple. Just think on what you're thinking. Yeah, I have learned to be observant to what's going on within and around me. This is so good. So good. That's I have come to know the value of introspection. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. Okay, somebody says, I've learned to be intentional and self-aware, and I should only compare myself with who I was yesterday and anybody and not anybody else. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well done. Yes, knowing yourself. We have 2 minutes before I move. Knowing yourself, what works and what doesn't work for you. Don't borrow someone else's paradigm. So good. So good. Exactly. Don't borrow someone else's paradigm, blueprint, or roadmap. Date myself. I realize that I've been hard on me. Exactly. Comparing myself to those that started years before me. I'm happy you caught that insight. Well done. Well done. I hear. Focus on being before doing. This person looks like you've been following me on my social handles, because I actually have a written work on the art of being before doing. So good, so good, so good. You don't have to become anything, just be it. Yeah. Be deliberate about self-discovery. There is no shortcut to self-fulfillment. Thank you. Thank you. This is so good. Date myself. Beautiful. Beautiful. So we just have a minute, and while we'll keep your comments coming in, while I just let me just do something. Lock the door. You come in. Okay. All right. When you have a toddler, who is banging, I want to come in and see mommy, but you can't see me for now. I'm with my people. Any other comments? Okay. 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 So now we are entering into the wrong way. So let me say it. Part of this meeting is saying the right way to end your year. Let me start by telling you the wrong way to end your year. Now, who wants to hear this? Who is ready for this part? If you're ready, let me see your comment. Just tell me I am ready. And I want to see an interesting emoji. If you don't put it, I will just shut down this call and say bye. So are you ready? Let me know you're ready for this next one. Let me know if you're ready. If you're ready, say I'm ready. And I want to see it with an emoji, an interesting emoji, maybe somebody dancing or fireworks. And just tell me you're ready. Yes, I've gotten one ready. Ready. Somebody is doing a backflip. Yes, my people are bringing in the energy. Somebody's raising her hand. I'm ready. Powerful. So good. I'm ready. Yeah, she's hugging me. I've received that hug. Thank you. Somebody's dancing. I'm ready. So good. So good. I like the fire. I like the energy in the room. Somebody say, I'm ready. Oh, this one does not want story. Say, I'm ready. Oh, so good. So good. So good. So let's dive into it. You're ready. The wrong way to end your year. You're ready. Good. You're good. Good. The wrong way to end your year is to end it without a definite plan for the new year. That's the wrong way. I've handled the self-awareness part. The wrong way to end your year is to end your year without a definite plan for the new year. And more importantly, planning for the new year, because it is different to have a plan. It is also different. It's one thing to have a plan. It's another to engage in the planning itself. I will explain. Yes, because you can have a plan and never really get into the planning of it. Yeah. So the wrong way to end your year is to end your year without a plan. Now, for the purpose of this other part of this webinar, I'm going to be using personifications and metaphorical examples, likening a human to an aircraft as we go on this journey. I don't know if you get me. Please let me know that you're getting me. So for this conversation, I want you to consider your life as an airplane. I want you to consider your life as an airplane. I want you to consider 2022 your destination, and I want to consider yourself as the pilot of that airplane. I'll say it again. For the purpose of this webinar, this part of this webinar, I want you to consider your life as an airplane. Yeah? I want you to consider your 2022 as the destination that you are headed. And I also want you to consider yourself as the pilot of this airplane. Now, I want you to know, yeah, absolutely, planning ahead. So good. Before a plane takes off to a desired destination in the aviation industry, there must be what we call two things must be in place. One, a flight plan. That's number one. And number two, pre-flight checks. A flight plan and a flight plan, number one, and number two, that's like kind of a tongue ruler there. A flight plan, and number two, pre-flight checks. In like manner, before you take off into 2022, you need a flight plan. You also need pre-flight checks. The reason why these two things are in place is to guarantee safety and to guarantee getting to the desired destination unfailingly with the least amount of drama. A flight plan and pre-flight checks. Now, flight planning is an essential component of every takeoff. Flight planning is an intentional component of every takeoff, is an intentional component of a safe, hazard-free flight. In other words, pilots who understand what flight planning is don't joke with it. In fact, it has been recorded that most of the plane crashes we've experienced, more than 70% of the plane crashes documented, by the aviation industry worldwide, more than 70, about 80% is as a result of pilots who never did due diligence in their flight planning or their pre-flight checks. They overlooked it. And that is what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to overlook your flight plan for 2022 or overlook your pre-flight checklist for 2022. Because I will say this morning, that nothing just happens. I will say it again. Nothing just happens. Everything worthwhile, everything that you experience in your life is deliberately created. But something happens actually. A lot of us stumble into success and stumble into failure. And when you stumble into success, as it were, you cannot reduplicate it because there is no hard framework. There is no set framework how you can use to reduplicate that success. And that is not what will happen to you in 2022. We are not going to enter 2022 unaware. We are going to enter 2022 deliberate and intentional. The first place in flight planning is having a destination, because a plane will not fly to where it does not know. So when you get into the airport, a plane is going to the US or traveling to JFK, right? There is a destination before you can plan. So we cannot plan a non-existent destination. Let me put it that way. You cannot plan with a non-existent destination. Somebody put that down. You cannot effectively plan with a non-existent destination. And this is what brings me to the power of vision. Your destination is the vision you have for yourself for 2022. That's your destination. The way an aircraft has its destination as a country or a particular airport in a country is the same way your destination for your life is the vision that you have for your life as regarding 2022. And when I say the vision you have for your life, actually, every vision you will run with cannot be given to you by you. You must get the vision from your life, from the person that created your life. Because an aeroplane does not say, oh, I feel like going to JFK. Pilot, please, can you take me to JFK? Or can you take me to Murtala Mohammed Airport? Or can you take me to Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport? I just feel like going there. No, 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 no. The destination of a flight is usually given to the owner by the flight, the flight crew, by the, sorry, not the flight crew now. What do I mean? By the company, the aviation industry, the aviation company handling that flight, the ones who own the aeroplanes. And that's the same way your life. The vision for your life for 2022 is not given to you by you. It is given to you by your creator. And somewhere along, in the new year, I will take a select few of people where we will dissect different parts of our lives, and create a vision as regarding those parts of our life and unfailingly achieve those visions, because it is possible. The first point is catching a vision, because what you cannot see, you cannot pursue. What you cannot see, you cannot pursue. Catching a vision for your mind. One of the best quotes I love for visioneering says something. I will read it out to you. I wrote it down here. It says, strategic planning is worthless until there is a strategic vision. Strategic, this is not my quote. Strategic planning is worthless unless there is first a strategic vision. I'll say that again. Strategic planning is worthless unless there is first a strategic vision. So I ask you today, what is your strategic vision for 2022? What have you been shown? What have you seen? What are you seeing? I told you when I started that before a flight takes off, there is flight planning and there is a pre-flight checklist. Now, the pre-flight checklists are just a list of tasks that should be performed before a flight takes off. And for your life for 2022, there is a pre-flight checklist that you must do before you take off. If not, you will crash. If not, you will you will just crash land somewhere if you don't take your pre-flight checklist. And my job today is to hand you that checklist, so that before you move into 2022, you will hold that checklist and say, and keep ticking, done, 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 so that you can enter 2022 from a place of personal power, and so that you can enter 2022 and end 2022 with real, tangible, prolific results born from a place of vision, born from a place of personal vision. Take an aerial view of your life. The aim of creating a flight plan for your life is not so that you can move your entire life, right? It's not so that you can move the entire life, because when a plane takes off, it doesn't want to go to everywhere, right? You don't see all the planes. When you go to let me go back to the aviation industry. When you get to the tarmac of any good airport, all planes don't take off at the same time. They are pre-booked. In like manner, every part of your life cannot take off at the same time. Because for some of you, you want every part of your life to move. Oh, it's my finances, my relationship, my career, my this, my that. If all planes, every part of your life try to take off at the same time with the same intensity, there will be an accident mid-air. And that is what I don't want for you. Envision your ideal life. Envision your ideal life. Because at every season in your life, There is a part of your life that you should be focusing on to move it forward at every season. And that's why the Bible says that there's a time for everything. Even in your life, there is a part of your life that should move forward in the first 3 months of 2022. Or there are parts of your life that should move forward in the first 3 months of 2022. There are also parts of your life that should move forward in the second quarter, another part in the third quarter, another part in the fourth quarter. Don't try to move your entire life together at the same time. It will be dead on arrival. Because what I have found is that it is impossible to move the different aspect of your life, all the parts of your life with the same intensity at the same time. It's impossible. You will experience overwhelm. You will experience fatigue. You will experience frustration. It's like juggling a million balls at the same time. Yes, it cannot. It cannot. Take it easy. Take one per time. Focus on 2 to 3 places in your life that need your attention. That need your attention. And I would like to read. Do I read it, or maybe after this broadcast, I'm going to paste it in the community? You know, when people talked about, when the aviation industry started talking about pre-flight checks, they discovered something. When they were having, people not complying to pre-flight checks, those people who investigated it discovered that a lot of pilots were not, adhering to the instructions of pre-flight checks because they were trying to do all the flight checks at the same time. So when they broke the pre-flight checks into segments, they found that the pilots were able to, their adherence to these instructions tripled. Yes, it tripled. Why? They put them in blocks, in segments, and say, after doing this check, I do this check, I do this check. Don't try to move every part of your life forward. Keep asking at every point in your life. You know what you should ask? What are the 2 to 3 areas in my life right now? Write this question down. What are the 2 to 3 areas in my life right now that if I focus my attention on would radically revolutionize my life as a whole? I will say that again. Ask, what are the 2 to 3 areas of my life that if I focus on will have a radical, tremendous effect in my overall life outcome? Yes, these are the questions you should ask before you enter 2022. Focus on these areas. These are your focus points as you enter 2022. Yeah. And I know some of you are asking, which one is areas of my life? What are the areas of my life? There is something called the Wheel of Life. The Wheel of Life. It's a coaching tool. It's the Wheel of Life. If you even Google it online, you're going to see it. It's called the Wheel of Life. WHEEL. The Wheel of Life. And it borders on about 10 areas of your life, 8 or 10, areas of your life. And what it actually does is to see how we can create balance in these areas of our life, or as my coach will say, create a congruence and harmony in these areas of our lives. But what I find is that a lot of people are doing well in one area, and they think that they can somehow, how do I put this? They think that they can somehow, somebody help me with the word, compensate, that's the word, compensate for other areas of their life that they are not doing well simply because they are flying high in the other level. But all of a sudden they come to a rude realization that they feel dissatisfied and disappointed. And that's why you now see a business executive saying, you are seeing somebody who is a manager, maybe in a blue chip company, who has a corner office, who is in a C-suite office, and is saying, I feel so unfulfilled. I feel sad. And you that is looking at the person and you're still trying to gather your life together, look for a job, and like, man, now, are you okay? Are you well? Is it normal? What that person is telling you is that the person is flying high in her career, but in another part of the person's life, the person is not doing so well. And so it causes a disharmony. It causes a lack of congruence, and that person begins to feel less powerful, even though the person is seemingly powerful. Yeah. So that Wheel of Life contains about 8 or to 10 parts of our lives, but I prefer to go with the one by Dr. Cindy Trim, who has 12 areas of their life, and I will quickly read those areas out to you. And for these areas, just expect in the new year, I have a lot for you guys, but this is what I'm going to do. We're going to go deep in this area, section by section, in my mastermind in the new year. So just be prepared. Number one in this area, you can write that down, is your personal brand. The areas of your life. I'm using Dr. Cindy Trim's Wheel of Life. Number one, it's your personal brand. Write it down. Number two is marriage and companionship or relationship with your significant other. Number one is your personal brand. Number two is marriage or companionship or relationship with your significant other. If somebody could help me also write them down the way I'm saying it, I'll be good. Number one, your personal brand. Yes, write them down so that people can also, without breaking, when I'm done, please write it out without breaking in the comment section so that people can assess it holistically. Yeah. Number three is family. Number three is family. Number four is spiritual growth and development. Number three is family. Number four is spiritual growth and development. Number three is family. Number four is spiritual growth. Have you gotten that? Can I go on to the next one, please? Yeah. Number five is personal growth and development. Number five is personal growth and development. Number six, did you get that? Number five is personal growth and development. Number six is, are we there? Is recreation and renewal. Recreation and renewal at number six. Number seven is friends and associates. Number six is recreation and renewal. Number, where am I now? Friends and associates. Yeah. Number seven, friends and associates. Number eight is networks, alliances, and partnership. Networks, alliances, and partnerships. That's number eight. Number nine, networks, alliances, and partnerships at number eight. Great. Number nine, it's career, business, and calling. Career, business, and calling, or calling. Career, business, and calling. Number 10, health, wealth, and fitness. Health, wealth, and fitness. Number 10, health, wellness, and fitness. Health, wellness, and fitness. That's number 10. Number 11, financial stability and money. Me, I like this one. No? Financial stability and money. Yeah. Financial stability and money. Number 11, okay, I think that's number 11. Number 12, which is the final one, is legacy and a life of impact. Okay, great. Legacy and a life of impact. Now, you want to experience balance, to live a life of fulfillment, to live a life of meaning and satisfaction. You want to experience balance, congruence, harmony along these 12 areas of your life. Whenever one of these areas is suffering, you start experiencing dissatisfaction and a loss of your a sense of your personal power if you don't understand yourself properly. I would go deep, like I said earlier, into these 12 aspects of your life with viable, proven frameworks on how to achieve, your greatest results in these areas of your life in my mastermind for next year. Now, let's go back to our plain and human analogy. Now that I've shown you the 12 areas of your life. And for flight planning, flight planning involves two critical aspects. Number one is fuel. Oh, great. Thank you for putting that out. Holistically. Thank you so much, whoever that is. Thank you so much. Thank you. So for like I was saying, for fuel planning involves two critical components. Number one is fuel calculation. Talking about the aviation industry. Two things involved in fuel in flight planning. Number one is fuel calculation. In other words, how much fuel is needed to take a plane from destination A to destination B with reserve, right? With reserve for like as a contingency plan. What do I need for the journey ahead as it relates to you? When you're talking about a flight plan for your life in 2022, there are two things also. Fuel calculation. What do you need? How much fuel do you need to move you from the point where you are now in 2021 to your desired destination in 2022? The second critical safety component is compliance with air traffic control requirements, talking about the aviation industry, which is indicating of what the instructions these pilots and these aviation staff need to obey to ensure a safe flight, a successful flight to their chosen destination. I'll say it again. Number one, fuel calculation. Number two, compliance with air traffic control requirements. The one is what I refer to, the fuel calculation is what I refer to as the resources you need on this journey. Two critical components. Number one, the resources you need on this journey. Number two is the compliance with air traffic control, which is the discipline that you need on this journey. There are two major things that you need holistically. Number one is the resources you need. Number two is the discipline you need and require on this journey. Without these two things, you can never, I'm not being, what word is it? I'm not being a prophet of doom, but without these two critical safety measures, you cannot enter into your desired destination in 2022. I told you we are borrowing a leaf from the aviation industry this morning because we're actually on a flight. How many of you remember what I said? I said, consider your life the airplane. Consider 2022 your desired destination and consider you yourself as the pilot. So if you as a pilot do not take into cognizance these two important points, your fuel calculation and your compliance with air traffic instructions, you are headed for disaster. You will never get to your destination. And I will say that one is the resource you need, which is fuel calculation. I'm repeating it so that it will sink. Number two are the instructions and the discipline that you need. Exactly. Thank you so much for putting that out there. I commend so much my back team. Thank you so much. What you need. And the same applies to your life for now. So I'm going to hand you a checklist, and this is the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm going to hand you a checklist consisting of 6 important components you must make sure is in place before you take your flight into 2022. Number 1 on the checklist, you can write it down, is saying, where am I right now? Where am I right now? Where am I right now? Ask yourself this question. Somebody please put it out there. Where am I right now? Evaluate yourself. Am I happy? Am I fulfilled? Am I dissatisfied with my life right now? Where am I right now? Forget what people are saying about you, because the truth is you can look successful to the outside world, but you that received the original blueprint, you that knows your capabilities and the possibilities that are resident in you, you know truly how well you are doing and how satisfied with what you've done. These are the resources embedded in you. Where am I right now? How happy am I with my life? How satisfied am I with my life? And this calls for deep introspection, like I talked about in self-awareness earlier on. I advise you also to do this in solitude. And the best time is in this period of the year, while everybody is jumping up and down before all the carnival and all the paraphernalia and all that, before all the noise, get out a place and stay in solitude and ask yourself sincerely, where am I right now? Where am I right now? At what point in my life am I right now? Like I said earlier, and I will say it again, just for emphasis, that the best type of knowledge is self-knowledge. Remember also what we said earlier. Until you know you, you cannot deploy you. And that is why you must know where you are right now. This calls for what we said earlier, self-awareness. Date yourself, ask yourself hard questions, answer those questions, journal them down significantly. Ask yourself, what have I done? What did I do in 20? No, number one is where am I right now? Number one, I'm handing you a checklist. There are 6 of them. Number one is where, thank you so much. But where I am right now, self-awareness is a subset of where am I right now. Yeah? Ask yourself, in the past year, what did I do that significantly moved me away from my comfort zone into a place of significance? What did I do that I was uncomfortable with, but yet I did it? Or did I do nothing? Or did I do nothing that I was not comfortable with? Be brutally honest with yourself. Be brutally honest. What are my struggles? How am I growing? How am I right now in December 2022? Sorry, 2021. And how was I in January 2021? Take a stock of your life. Where am I right now? That speaks to where you are right now. And this is how you catapult yourself from a life of redundance into a life of significance, where you start to grow based on what you know about where you are right now. You have to be honest about where you are right now. Ask yourself, what are the vices in my life right now? Do I sleep too much? Do I eat too much? Am I lazy? Really? Let me ask myself, really, what's your problem? Are you lazy? Write it down. Ask it as a question and be sincere with yourself. Be brutally honest with yourself. If you deceive yourself, then I would like to say that you cannot be helped. Because the only person that you should be honest with, or the major person, not like the only person, the number one person that you should be honest with is yourself. What are my vices? What kind of relationships? Where am I right now in my relationships? What kind of people do I have around me? Where am I right now in my marriage? Where am I right now in my finances? Where am I right now in my career? Where am I right now in my relationship with people? Where am I? Know where you are. Because when you know where you are, you can then, from the knowledge you have of where you are, chart a course for where you want to go. I will say that again. Because when you know where you are, you can, from the knowledge gained from where you are, chart a significant course, chart a course for where you want to be and where you want to go. If you don't know where you are, you cannot know where you want to go. Yes, I'll say that again. If you don't know where you are, then you cannot know where you want to go. Because a lot of us know what we don't want. If I ask you, what don't you want in life? Excuse me, please. Sorry, the Hamilton is not nice in Port Harcourt. Yeah. So a lot of us know what we don't want, but we don't know what we want, right? If I ask you, what don't you want? I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be that. But can you take it a step further? What do you want? Envision your life as it were. Look at your life. Step back and say, in the next 10 years, what do I want to be known for? In the next 5 years, what do I want to be known for? In the next 3 years, what do I want to be known for? Where am I right now? Exactly for where you want to go. Thank you so much for putting that out. I will hand you the next on your pre-flight checklist for 2022, number 2. And it speaks to, where am I going? Where am I going? Number 1 was, where am I right now? Number 2 is, where am I going? That's number 2. Where am I going? And that's your destination or your vision where you are going. What is the compelling vision that is pushing you as you are stepping into 22? What keeps you sleepless at night? What hurts you? What problem is burning in your heart to solve for your generation? What is the vision that God has shown you about your preferred future? Because what is vision? Vision actually is a divine, is according to Dr. Cindy Trim, she said vision is a heavenly preview. How did she put that? Heavenly preview, shown to you. A vision is your tomorrow shown to you today. What is the vision? Where am I going? Where am I headed? What problems are tugging at my heart? What solutions have you been created to solve upon the earth or in your family? You must have a vision for your life. That's what where I'm going to speak to. Who is the woman? Then when you start talking about where am I going, you start asking, still in where am I going? Who must I become to get to where I'm going? Ask yourself, in the next 3 years, where do I see myself? In the next 5 years, what do I want people to be talking about me? For some of you here, you're 25. Ask yourself, on my 30th birthday, how do I want it to look like? Who do I want to be in attendance on my 30th birthday? What are the testimonies I want people to say about me? That speaks to where you are going. That speaks to where you are going. You want to enter 2022, asking God to open your eyes, asking God to open your ears, asking God to open your heart. And I'm going to share with you one of my favorite prayer points. And I've been praying this prayer for years. And it's very simple. And I intensify this prayer usually towards the end of the year. It just says, oh Lord, give me eyes that see. Give me ears that hear. Give me a heart that understands and is quick to obey. Such a powerful prayer. Such a powerful prayer. You don't want to run blind into 2022. Imagine entering an aircraft where the pilot has a limited field of vision, maybe caused by a disease like glaucoma, and has his peripheral vision or some of his peripheral vision lost. Would you want to be on that flight? But you are the pilot of your life for 2022. You want your eyes to be open. You want your eyes to be clear. You want your ears to be open to hear. The Bible says, I will seal instructions in your ear in the night seasons. If you're not asking questions, you will not receive answers. And that's why I talked about journaling. When you sleep, make sure there is a journal beside you. Because in this period, that's what I agreed with God. There's going to be a download of heavenly mysteries, heavenly memos, roadmaps, patterns, blueprints into the hearts of women. But it's not just into the heart of any woman. It's into the heart of a woman that is ready and asking, where must I go? That's what's going to be happening. So that's the second pre-checklist. Where am I going? Because planning is bringing the future into the present. That's what one of my best quotes. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. And that was said by Alan Lakin. Planning is doing something about, planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. The future is the vision. Where you are going is the vision. Where you are going is the blueprint. And to catch a vision for your life, you must be positioned. There is a posture to take. You should start asking, oh God, what posture must I take to be able to catch a vision? Because the Bible said something very interesting. I've never made it known. I know I've been saying the Bible. I know that some people in this call or who watch this later, who I'm not trying to force my belief on you, but I have found that the Bible holds timeless truth for navigating the paths of life. That's what I have found. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. Ask, what posture must I take? Because the Bible was saying, it says, I will stand upon my watch. Okay, I will do that. I will stand upon my watch so that I will see what he will say to me. In other words, if I sit upon my watch, I may not see what he's saying to me. In other words, if I stand somewhere else, I may not see. So what you should begin to ask, what posture must I take to catch a compelling vision for 2022? That speaks to where you are going. Somebody asked me to say the prayer again, and I will say, it's simple. Oh Lord, give me eyes that see, give me ears that hear, and give me a heart that understands and is quick to obey. Because it is from a place of vision that you draw up a plan, that you draw up a strategy, that you draw up a blueprint, that you draw up a roadmap to your desired future. This is authenticity. This is authenticity, not to borrow someone else's vision or to borrow because you see somebody doing this. And this is why a lot of us are not disciplined enough to sit at a particular season in our life or a particular place in our life. We're always jumping from pillar to post. Do you know why? You start this business, you close it down. Less than 3 months, you say, no, I want to enter another business because this my sister is doing and she's making money. You are flown. You start this vision for women, and I say, no. I think I want to start speaking about relationships. But meanwhile, you were speaking about career, helping career women, rise in the career ladder. All of a sudden, you're like, this person is doing well in relationships. I need to shift Do you know why? It's because you don't have a clear-cut vision. This is a vision that empowers. It is a vision that propels. It's a vision that gives you direction. That's what gives you direction. That's what gives you direction. The vision, where you are going. Where you are going. Practice solitude in this period. Please, I am begging you. Let me say this. Noisy people, if you are noisy on your inside, if you are too noisy, noisy people can never download authentic blueprints. Every time you see somebody jumping from one business to the other, one city to the other, one mentor to the other, one coach to the other, one business, one vision, the person is just unstable. You have seen a person who is living inauthentically from a place of no vision. From a place of no vision. I am very comfortable in my lane. I'm too busy with what I'm doing to notice what is happening on the other lane. I am too busy on my own lane to notice what's happening on the other lane. I'm just too busy. Don't be noisy. The Bible says, study to yourself, study to be quiet. Study to be quiet. After all, he says, I will seal instructions in your ear. In the night season, he said, when you lay upon your bed, do you think, why didn't he seal instruction in your ear when you were in a carnival? Because instructions, blueprints, memoirs, unique unique prototypes are not handed in the open. They are handed in the private. They are handed to you in the place of seclusion. Not even in this place. When you go in, that's where it's handed to you. Not binging on different social media pages, asking, how will my 2022 look like? You now start going through social media pages. Oh, which business will I do? Stop it. Stop it. That's living inauthentically. And I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm sounding too harsh, but it's just the kind of decadence I see in this generation that is appalling. Stop it. Be unique. Be authentic. If God hands you a vision and you have not seen it anywhere, it means that you are a trailblazer. You are supposed to open that path and others will follow. Stop saying, I've never seen it anyway, therefore I can't do it. That's not a way to live. You are a trailblazer. If you've never seen it anywhere, then create the path, let others follow. And also stop saying it's everywhere. God gave me the vision, it's everywhere. Before they say I'm copying, that is pride. The problems upon planet Earth are too enormous for one person to solve. And that is why God will not hand a vision to only you in a particular area. He will hand it to millions of people, because so that where you cannot reach, another person reaches. Yes. Yes. You need to start asking yourself, where am I going? And that's for number 2. The number 3 pre-flight checklist for your 2022 is, what do I need? Excuse me, please. What do I need? You begin to ask, what do I need? Just like the air flight, the pilot will ask, how much fuel do we need? What do I need? What do I need? Because on this journey, you need it. And I would like to make reference again to the Bible. I think it was Elijah, that an angel tapped and said, arise and eat, for the journey is long. You need something that will sustain you from the inside. Arise and eat. Because if you will go far, like I said earlier, you will go deep. If you will go far, you must load yourself properly. You must load yourself. What do I need? How do I need to grow? In what parts of my life do I need to grow as regards the vision that you have shown me? What mental, what social, what personal, human resources do I need as I get into 2022? That's what you should be asking. What do I need? How do I need to grow? What books should I buy? You know, what do I need? What financial resources do I need? If you need a financial resource, right? What tools do I need? Can somebody hand me those tools? What do I need? For example, if you're starting a business and God has shown you about a business, a vision about a business, you start asking, what do I need? Do I need to buy a baking equipment? Do I need, you know, a course on baking or something? What do I need? How do I need to grow? What books do I need to read? What podcasts should I listen to? What videos, what educative videos should I watch? Just like you're on this call now, right? What do I need? This is when you should be asking. And then once you get what you need, you go ahead and pursue and gain what you need. I'll quickly move to I think that's self-explanatory. I'll move to the next one, number 4, on your pre-flight checklist for 2022. And that is, who do you need? Because what you need is different from who you need. Yes. For Elisha needed an Elijah. Yes. For a Mary needed a Mary Magdalene. For a Jesus needed a John the Baptist. Who do I need on this journey into 2022? You cannot do life alone. You are not, as it were, you are enough, right? I always say you're enough, but still you are not enough. You need people. You need people. Who do I need? Who is my John the Baptist? Who is my Elijah? Who is my Timothy? Because you need an Elijah, you also need a Timothy. An Elijah are the people that you answer to. An Elijah, the mentors, your coaches, your prophets, your pastors. But you also need a Timothy, talking about people who will run with this vision for you, who will buy it and say, no, this is my mentor, this is my vision. Sons and daughters, you need a workforce. That's why it's asking, who do I need? Who do I need? When you identify who you need, then you go ahead to get them. And this will be an important place to say. I'm not saying you start running around people because there's something that's going on. Please be my mentor. Please be my whatever, all those things. No. When I say who do you need, before you meet somebody and ask the person, please be my mentor, ask yourself, how many of this person's materials have I consumed? How many of this person's resources have I eaten? Who do I need? Because you cannot do it alone. Don't snigger at knowledge. Don't snigger at people what word am I saying? People who are purveyors of knowledge, who give out knowledge, who dispense knowledge, because you need them. Mentors, coaches, teachers, pastors. These are people that you need. And the people you need in a particular season in your life may not necessarily be the same people you need in another season of your life. So you need to find out, who do I need as I enter 2022? Whose chariot do I need to join as regards relationships? For he said, join these chariots. Whose chariot do I need to join? Talking about who you need. And don't be too proud to go to say, I need you in my life, ma. I need you in my life, my friend. In this 2022, I need to hook up to you. I need to hook up to you. Who do you need? Who are the significant people in your life's journey? Because you know the truth, and this is one of the things I like saying, you don't know what you don't know. What you know, somebody else person knows. And the reason why all of us have very long, outdoors, difficult journeys is because we think we are doing it alone. When you get people who have gone before you, when you get people that you need, you make your journey easier. You make your journey easier. Find out who you need and pay any price necessary. If you have to pay for people to coach you, pay. If you have to serve mentors, serve. If you have to volunteer, volunteer. Talking about who do I need. Don't just say, I need you. I need you. Know how. Go and volunteer in that person's vision, that person's company. Some of you are saying, oh, I have a vision to own a fashion line. Who have you volunteered? Where have you worked? What's your pedigree? Who have you served? Whose hand have you poured water on? You don't just appear. Elisha don't just appear. They are trained. They are brought up. You don't just appear. Be brought up. Be brought up. Later in 2022, I'm going to be talking about, I will teach you about the 5 significant people you need in your life. I already have that written down, and I will teach you step by step. And I will know if I will bring this to this general community or will deal with it in my mastermind. Anyway, regardless, I would make sure I teach you about the people that you need on your life's journey. Some of you are Some of you are familiarizing yourself with people that you should be learning from. You are forming familiar because they are your mates, but they know what you don't know. And you cannot humble yourself and say, please teach me. I need you. I need you. I need you. This is that year where you're going to put pride in the background and where you're going to wear the cloak of humility, because it's in that cloak that you can go far. When you wear the cloak of pride, your life's journey is truncated before you even start it. Yeah. Who do I need? So let's move to the next one. Number 5 on your checklist. What must I do? What must I do? Do you remember what this refers to? Remember the second one we talked about what discipline I must imbibe, talking about the instructions from the safety personnel and how to adhere to them. What must I do? In this one, draw up a plan across the 12 areas of your life and ask, what must I do to move this part of my life forward? Write them down. And that is why a lot of people don't achieve their goals, because this is where goal setting comes in. And I'll also teach that. I've said I'll teach many things, but I will. But this is where goal setting comes in. But you don't set a goal just because you feel like setting a goal. No, you set a goal from a place of personal vision and personal power. So you look at the 12 areas of your life, and with the vision you have for your life in 2022, you begin to draw out goals, what you must do. That's how you set goals. What must I do to get to this place in this part of my life? To achieve this desired result in this part of my life, you begin to ask yourself, what must I do? Because you have a responsibility to move your life forward. Enough of the blame game. And I just said that that's for somebody. It's high time you stop saying, if this person had helped me, if my parents were better, positioned, if I grew up in a more enabling environment, I could have been better. Hello, you can be better. Take up your life. Take charge of your life. Leverage yourself to bet your future. Because you are the primary investment in this thing. You are the capital. You must leverage you. What must I do? These are the disciplines that you must do. What must I do? Do I need to wake up earlier? Do I need to start a community? Do I need to read more? Do I need to go and volunteer in a company? Some of you want to start your own NGOs. Have you volunteered for another NGO? Have you? You should volunteer and say, because one of the best ways to learn is by putting yourself in the unique context of your preferred future. You look for a company or you look for somebody who is living your future. And that's what I do. That's how I choose my mentors. I look at somebody and say, this person is living a similitude, because nobody can actually have a perfect representation of your future, of what my future will look like. And you go and volunteer with that person. Go and volunteer in that company. Go and volunteer with that person. I've already called somebody, I think that was last week. I called one of my senior colleagues. I said, I want to be coming into your facility to look at patients for free. Don't pay me. I will come and serve. I want to serve you in this new year. Once a year, I will give you my strength. I will give you my wisdom. I will give you my expertise. Why am I doing that? I am volunteering because she has, where she's living now as regards my career, as regards our career, is a picture of my preferred future. So I'm putting myself deliberately and intentionally in that unique context. I encourage you to do the same. What must I do? Take action. And then ask yourself, after writing out what you must do, ask yourself, what must I begin to do now? Not tomorrow, now. Now. Because the best time, I think a Chinese proverb says that the best time to plant a tree was not 10,000 years ago. It's now. It's now. And the final one on the checklist, number 6, we'll come to number 6. Is what must I avoid? What must I avoid? I'm so excited because I am shifting. I'm telling you, me that is talking to you. I wish I could be jotting down even the insights that are jumping at me while I'm talking to you. Yeah. What stroke? Okay, can you rephrase that? What stroke who must I avoid? What stroke who must I avoid? So let's go back to the aviation industry again. Now, before a flight takes off, they usually envisage possible problems that may arise. And that's why a plane has 2 engines. So that's why if one engine fails, we can manage the other one. And that's why a plane takes on extra fuel, because what if for some reason we need to go back to a particular airport, or we need to hover on the air because of poor weather? We don't want to run out of fuel. So that's what it was, because it was envisaged, it could be properly prepared for. I want you to envisage possible roadblocks on this journey to the life that you desire in 2022. What and what may stop my getting into my preferred future in 2022? What are the possible scenarios that may stop me, right? That may act as a roadblock between me and my desired future in 2022. Write them down. For some of you, there are people. Who are the people that will stop me? Some friends that you don't have any business being with anymore, right? Some things you should not be reading, some attitudes and behaviors that you must drop. Like you say, okay, I will say that this sleep is going to stop me from entering my preferred future. So what must I do? I must avoid that laziness that comes with sleeping for too long. Some of you will sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep till you have saliva dripping, and then you wake up and say, ah, this 2022, I must make it. No, 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 no. You will not make it. I'm sorry to tell you that. Sorry, forgive me. Yeah. So what must I avoid? So you write them down. Are they friends? Are they, vices that you presently have? Procrastination. I want to avoid procrastination. I want to avoid fear. These are the things that are roadblock, possible roadblock. Because when you envisage a possible roadblock, you make plans. You are ready so that when it shows up, you have a concrete, waterproof plan to counteract that roadblock, and that roadblock will not hinder you from getting into your preferred future. So these are the 6 pre-flight checklists I'm handing to you as you enter 2022. I promise you, if you diligently follow this checklist, you will come back in 2022 thanking me from your place, from your destination, from your preferred destination. I am telling you, it will cause a radical shift in your life and in your mind. Yeah. So with this, we're about to call it a wrap. But before we do, I'm going to take 1 or 2 questions and then we'll call it a wrap. If you have been on this call till now, I sincerely want to applaud you and your resilience to your future self. You are going somewhere. It's impossible for you to be small. For you to stay on this call till this time, no. It's impossible for you to be small. Greatness beckons so ever so strongly upon you, I'm telling you. And I want to applaud you for committing to yourself, to your growth, and to your manifestation. I hope that these 1 hour, 40 minutes spent with you has been impactful, has been eye-opening, I hope you had epiphany moments. I hope you had light bulb moments. And I would like to take some questions just before we call it a wrap. I would like to take questions just before we call it a wrap. Excuse me. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions before we call it a wrap? After attending to the questions, we'll drop our light bulb moments and then we'll call it a wrap. It has been so good being with you. I am so happy and I can't wait to see how majestically you will step into 2022. I can't wait to see you, operate from your place of personal power. I can't wait to see you, sitting in largesse in your desired future and your preferred destination. So may I have some questions? Or if you don't have questions, no, you must have questions, must. But I think we can run them concurrently. Your light bulb moments, the insight that you've drawn, and your questions. Okay, I have one question here, and it says, how do you remain on track with your vision when unexpected challenges knock you off course? Great, awesome questions. Because life happens, truly. Life happens, and there are sometimes you are hit with some challenges and you're like, how do I get back to course? It's simple. Give yourself time, depending on the challenge that came your way. And I'll use myself as an example. I remember when I lost my children, sometime I was on a course, I was going somewhere. And the loss of children is something that will not only knock you off course, it will remove you from the course itself and throw you somewhere. Like, you'll be like, don't worry, I don't want to pursue anything in this life. At this time, I'm pursuing nothing, right? So if it's that kind of challenge or something as dramatic as that, which will not happen to any of us here, but you get what I mean, something powerful enough to knock you off course, give yourself time to heal, give yourself time to get through that challenge, and then come right back in. And this is why the last pre-flight checklist is so important. What must I avoid? Now, there's some 30 things you can't avoid, but if you envisage, okay, if this happens, what is the plan I have to get back on course, right? When you have that, you can now follow that plan that you have. So before you get back, or don't be quick to get back on course, because sometimes a lot of people will get into hustle mode. And that's when you're not operating from your place of personal power, hustle mode. See this person, see what this person is doing on social media. It's only my life that is not moving forward. My goodness. So that even when you are hit, even when you are wounded in battle, you will still be struggling with your wound and you are bleeding. No, it's not a competition. Take time out and heal, right? Take time out and heal, whatever the challenge may be. Take time, depending on that challenge, because I don't know what the challenge you're referring to is, but take time to heal and replenish yourself, then come right back on course. Come right back on course. That's my answer to you. I hope I answered your question properly. Don't be in hustle mode. You say, thank you, Ma, for that value. I'll look at the 12 areas and I'll see how far you are from your destination. I feel overwhelmed by that thought. What should I do? You feel okay. You're like, if I look at the 12 areas of my life, it's like I never start. The mere acknowledgement that this is where I am can be overwhelming, and I perfectly understand you. And that is how it works for me. But here's my advice to you. Do it. It's painful, but remember that quote. Can I read that quote out to you again, if you will let me? It says that it takes courage, right, to endure the sharp pains of self-discovery. So I'm not going to lie to you that it's going to be sweet. No, it's going to be painful to see your life as it were. Sometimes it's going to be painful. It now says it takes courage to endure the sharp pains of self-discovery than choose to take the dull pains of unconsciousness that will last the rest of your life. Because if I speak to you, whoever gave me this question, you are still experiencing pain. It's just that it's dull. You are feeling unfulfilled. You are feeling disappointed, but it's dull. You know why it's dull? It's because you have not looked at it strategically headlong. So there is also pain. It's just that one you can live with it for your rest life. So ask yourself, would I rather take on the dull pain of abysmal living, of a life that is not assessed, or rather take the journey of the sharp pain of self-discovery, right? When you go there, it's going to be painful, but look at the future and look at the vision and know that you can move from here to there. Your future should be your propelling force. And that is why it says something. It says that they that know shall be strong and do. The strength needed to do, despite what you have seen from your life, is a knowing of the blueprint that God has shown you, right? And then even when you feel the only thing that will give you overwhelmed, even after you look at these 12 areas, is when you start saying, no, look at all my life, see everywhere, let me move all of them at the same time. No. When you look at that wheel of life and say, okay, I am down, that wheel of life, you grade it from 1 to 10 and said, okay, maybe grade yourself from 10% to 100% and said, okay, even if in the whole of my wheel of life I'm below 50, ask yourself, I will not carry everything together. What are the 3 most important parts of my life I can focus on in 2022, right? And then give it your best. So you can say personal relationships. You can say my spiritual life, right? For me, at one point, I thought I was like 2027 or 2016, was my spiritual life, my family, and my personal development I focused on for that year. And my results were tremendous, right? So I didn't bother saying, I said, no, because I didn't do well. No. I prayed, I was happy that I did well in these parts of my life. So just focus on just pick out 3. And then if you're listening to me, just watch out. By the time we open next year's academy and my mastermind and all that, make sure you join in so that we can take out these areas one by one, dissect it, and make sure that we get results from it. I hope I answered your question. The feeling of starting and failing or not following through a particular course has left me tired. I see myself not having that fire to push. How do I deal with this? From what you just said, I just sense a single problem, and that's the problem of persistence. That's the problem of persistence. There is no good thing that will just be handed to you. You must acquire courage. In fact, there are 2 factors necessary for success in life. 2 major factors, courage and persistence. Saying that, no, I must get something. You need courage and you need persistence. So, and then you also need to have a clear vision. Like that thing I said, For somebody say starting and failing. So when you start, you fail, you say, oh no, this one does not work, you jump. No. If you have an authentic blueprint, you know that God sent you to this sector. God sent you on this path. God told me to do this. And I will stick with it till I get a counter instruction. Then keep your ears open for new information and new structure. He said the feeling of not starting and not failing, or not following through a particular course, you must start learning the act of execution or following through. Let me give you 3 simple strategies. Number 1, get a coach that will make sure that you do. Get a coach. You need a coach for your life that will make sure that you do. A coach that will ensure that you execute. Because when you start having, let me tell you what happens when you don't radically execute, when you don't execute and you keep having visions. What will happen is that you start feeling despair because the courage and the strength and the adrenaline needed to pursue a new course is gotten from a course that you have completed, some of it. So if you keep rescinding on not following things through, you will form a vicious circle of never following things through, right? So that's the problem with being a person that does not execute. You, at a point, you get tired. You be like, this thing does not work. No, it works. The problem is that you have not been executing. So if there's something, no matter what you need, take with it and run with it and begin to take action with that thing. Stop waiting and saying everything must be perfect. No, everything must not be perfect. Trust me, everything must not be perfect. So why you are tired is because you are not executing. And when you don't execute, you will not get results. That's starting and failing, because you can start actually and you will not execute. Yeah. The fire needed to push comes from what you have executed before. So in this new year, make a commitment to be a person that sees things through, no matter how small. And then don't bite more than you can chew. I hope I answered that question. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, somebody saying, please, ma, repeat the questions you asked yourself to change the bad feelings you felt other supplier challenge you to advertise your. Okay, I asked, when did I start feeling this way? No, first of all, how am I feeling? And of course, I now knew I was feeling bad. I was just feeling funny. Number 2, when did I start feeling this way? Number 3, who was around when I started feeling this way? Right? Who was around? Number 4, what exact discussion or what did I engage in exactly that started making me feel this way? I hope you got that. Just trace it down. The idea is to keep tracing it back till you pinpoint at the exact spot and the exact person or whatever you exposed yourself to that made you start feeling that way. Did you get the questions, please? How am I feeling this way? How am I feeling? Like, what am I feeling right now? What are the emotions I'm feeling right now? Right? Why am I feeling this way? And when did I start feeling this way? And who was around? Or what did I expose myself to at that time that made me start feeling this way? That's all. And then when you are done, you counteract it. You counteract that feeling and say, no, I refuse to feel this way, depending on what that context was. And that's that on that. Did you get the questions, please? Oh, great. So any more questions? How do you discipline yourself to focus on a few areas, looking away from other areas? Oh, simple. Make yourself accountable. If you have, okay, you're going to make me get into something. Let me start here. You have to start taking yourself seriously, and I know that it takes a while to grow into that place of, taking yourself seriously. Like for now, for me, there's some things I need to do. I must get it done. I don't need somebody else to, follow me up on it. But it was a journey. But if you have not gotten to that place where you take yourself really seriously, you should start that journey of taking yourself seriously. That's the first point of call, right? To focus on a new area. And then how bad do you want it? Because it's a desire. If the desire is not strong enough, you will not be able to go ahead with it. It must be a strong desire. That's why you must choose on the parts of your life that, man, you will be like Esther. If I perish, I perish. I need to move myself forward. So develop a strong desire for that part of your life you want to move forward, take yourself more seriously, and then be accountable. Get an accountability circle or somebody that you can be accountable to in the person of a mentor, a coach, a friend, a spouse, not a spouse will be smiling with you. No, leave a spouse. Get somebody who will tell you as it is and tell you, my friend, you're taking your life on seriously. Like there was a book I was writing. There was something I was doing sometime, and I told my friend that was a mistake. I just told her I'm doing this. She said, anytime she sees me, how far? What have you done? I started avoiding her. Calm down, it's me, it's my vision. Calm down. But you need such people in your life, people that will make you uncomfortable. That's one of the ways to exercise discipline in your life. Did I answer that question? Okay, there's a strength finder test. Strength finder, strength finder, strength finder test. You also have to be in tune with your emotions. Like that, the question that just came in now, I was not in tune with my emotions. I would not know I started feeling bad because I was very self-aware. I knew for sure the emotions I was feeling per time. I knew when it started and I knew how to address it. So you must become in tune with your emotions. I think I've answered this question, right? It's a growth. You grow in self-awareness. You don't just wake up from one day to the other and become self-aware. You keep studying yourself every day, practice journaling, like I said, ask yourself questions, get the answers, write them down, practice mindfulness, think on what you're thinking. These are the exercises you take because there is no one fix all. There's no test that will fix your entire journey of self-awareness. The primary test is going through the journey itself. The personality test is just to give you an idea of your strengths and your weaknesses and how then applying those strengths in your daily life is your responsibility. Right. I hope I answered that question. I love this. He says, that's such a good question. How do I stay motivated through the year? Most times we start the year in high spirits, and then before mid-year, you begin to get demotivated. Tell me about it. I perfectly understand you, my sister. And one of the ways for me, everything I teach you, I tell you from a place of personal experience. One of the ways I stay motivated is to fix myself in what I call a catalytic community, just like the whole women's network, right? I fix myself in that community. When you see your sisters doing, you're like, so now there's a thin line. You're not intimidated, but you're motivated, right? So that's why you must be self-confident to yourself. Not like somebody's doing something. So see how this person is doing. No, like I'm now feeling intimidated. No. What your sisters are doing in a catalytic community. And as we get into the new year, I want to hear, this our whole women's network. It's not just me speaking. I want to know what you're doing. If you do something in line with what you've taught today, I want you to write it out there. Because of what I learned in our December coaching call, which is where we're in right now, I applied it to this area of my life, and these are the results I'm getting. Right? When you say that you are motivated in that community, but when you don't have a community, you are not motivated. And then who you are listening to, make sure you keep listening to people that will motivate you, not people that will discourage you. And that is why earlier on this call, I talked about your gaslighters and your firefighters, people that will be like, they will help you, they will motivate you. You need to know those people in your life, those kind of friends. Like for me, people keep telling me every time, say, isn't it when I talk to you? Something lights up on my inside. I feel like I can even break down, Kainji Dam. I can crush a mountain. So that is me deploying my motivational gifts. Yes, remain in a catalytic environment. For me, I have a catalytic, not just for women network. I'm with a group of women somewhere else. And that's where I get my motivation from. So you want to be in that environment. You don't want to be in a place where people are dulling your shine. And that's why you also have to choose your friends. I'm not saying you should wake up and start cutting off your friends, but you want to be strategic in your partnership in this 2022. I have a friend who, whenever I'm feeling down, you need people that you can be vulnerable with in this journey. I'm like, see the way I'm feeling. Oh. You don't want somebody to be telling you, why are you feeling like that? Be strong, all those kind of things. You want someone that can empathize with you and then hand you the right, words of encouragement that will motivate you. And then, because you are human, sometimes you will feel down. And that's why you must create You must fit yourself in a catalytic environment or in meaningful friendships and relationships that will motivate you. Don't stay among people who don't have anything good to say to you or motivate you in your desired direction or future. Don't be alone. This journey, you can't do it alone. I hope I answered that question. Because even me that is talking to you, sometimes I'm not motivated. Let me even tell you, some of the times when I show up on this call, I'm like, I beg, I don't feel like I need to lie down. But two things motivate me. Number one, a compelling vision. When I think about what I have seen, I'm like, my dear, stand up. Oh. Stand up. Number two, a catalytic community and catalytic friends. Yeah. I hope I answered your question. Wow. 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 Man, you guys, you are literally drawing from my inside. I feel it. As in, you came here hungry, and that's why everything is just coming out the way it's coming out. I applaud you for that. Any more questions? Amazing session. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So in the next 5 minutes, we wrap up. Please just write your light bulb moments in the next 5 minutes. Your light bulb moments. What stood out for you? What are you taking home? Like, this particular one hits me. It gave me a boost effect, right? It slapped me into 2022. Please write that down in the next, not 5 minutes. 5 minutes is too long, please. In the next 3 minutes, write them down and we'll call it a wrap. Please write that down, write that down, and then we're done. Write that down. Your light bulb moments, your insights, revelations, epiphany moments. What did you get? Please write them down. We have 2 minutes more. Write them down, please. Write them down. Okay, while you're writing that, I want to encourage you. In this year, we must grow this community. The goal is to grow this community to at least 3,000 women. You can't be gaining all this knowledge alone. That's selfish. I want you to pull people, drag people into this community. Make a commitment that every week you bring. Oh, someone said everything stood out too. But you see, this self-awareness, I must pay attention. I think a lot depends on it. Exactly, a whole lot. So I want you to drag people into the community, your friends, your family, your girlfriends, bring them in. Next year is going to be loaded. And I'm also creating another community for both men and women next year. There's something I'm doing. Don't worry, I'll let you guys on it as it goes, as it unfolds. But please, yes, please, I love that. I would advise that you rewatch this video over and over and over and over again, because what you binge on becomes imprinted in your soul. It becomes imprinted in your heart. So please don't just watch it and leave it. Take out, I told you about solitude, right? And taking out time for yourself in the year. Take out a week. Get into a hotel. Take this video with you. Take out the resources I've put out there, right? And then go and sit in solitude and map out a design, a vision for your life for 2022. Rewatch this video, take new notes over and over and over again. Please don't just watch it one time, once, twice, 3 times. Let it be your major tool for 2022. After this video, I will also drop a book for you. All of you should go and get that book. It's a book by Dr. Cindy Trim titled The Transformative Power of Vision. I'm going to drop that book. Make sure you get that book between now and the close of the year. Make sure it's one of the tools you take into your solitude moments as you draw a plan and envision 2022. So please, like I was saying, bring more people into this. Noisy people cannot download authentic blueprints. Thank you. So true, so true, so good, so good, so much value. Yes, you work on being and doing. Oh, I'm so glad that you got value. That's great. That's great. So please, the video will be on our Facebook page. You can watch it over and over again. Then please bring in women. Make a commitment to bring in at least 5 women a week. You, each person, 5 women a week into our community. Drag them in. Hold them by their human hair and bring them inside. Because human hair will not save them. Timely truths will save them. Thank you so much for being such an amazing energetic, fun-filled audience. I am so proud of you. I am rooting for you, praying for you. You know, I believe in you so much. You are doing me so proud. I believe in what you're doing. I believe in the commitment you're making to your personal growth. I just love you from the bottom of my heart, and I'm rooting for you, and I can't wait to see you, you know, in 2022 doing awesome and doing wonderful, mind-blowing, epic, extraordinary, exceptional things, manifesting results in different dimensions. I love you. I also want to say that thank you so much. Please, everybody here today. Okay, thank you, Ma, for all you said today. There's a lot of work to do, but I'm happy we can do them percent by percent. Exactly. Thank you. Percent by percent, small, small, little, little bits. I want everybody on this call to please just say a big thank you to my amazing covenant sister. You must type it down. Just say thank you, Amara. As in, Amara, you don't understand. You are God's gift to me. Somebody please say thank you to Amara for me. Just say thank you, Amara. Right here. I want to see. If I don't see thank you, Amara, I'm not closing this call. Thank you, Amara, and to all my moderators, Jennifer, the people working behind the scene. Thank you so much. You guys did awesome, Amara. You're such a value to me. I applaud you, and I want to say it openly. I said, Amara, I thank you. Somebody should write thank you, Amara. If you don't say thank you, Amara, I will not leave this call. Thank you so much. Remember, I was saying, Amara, I like to say it openly. One of the pre-flight checklist says, who do you need? I want to say it openly that I need you in my life in 2022. Thank you so much for being so dependable, so loving. I don't even know what I did to deserve this kind of love from you, but thank you. Thank you so much. And with that, I'm saying bye to everybody. Have a merry, merry, merry Christmas. But while you are enjoying, remember to go for deep reflection. I love you so much. And prepare for 2022 because I'm coming with a bang. And we must, all of us must unleash our greatness in this 2022. I love you so much. I'm sending you kisses. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.